Oh, I just love everything about this little tavern. It is so cute. Anyway, welcome back. My name is Sam, or Erfaren. Always happy to have you here. Today, we're gonna find something to do, because I actually, like, right now, I got a lot of ideas of things I want to do, but I just can't set my mind to one of them. So I think might just start building out this way, or maybe do some work going down here. I don't know, guys. I've got all sorts of ideas, and like, I can't decide what I want to do. So, this is our super chaotic intro to today's video. I think I just need to run around and figure out how to be inspired. So let's go take a look at some pretty things around here, and maybe we'll figure out what we want to do today. Yeah, that's nice. That's also really nice. Ugh, I love this place. You know what? I do know what we're gonna do today, and it's something we've kind of talked about doing and haven't done in I don't know, we've been talking about this for a while. I'm gonna build some kind of barrier rocks that go around here. I feel like that's gonna take so much stone and things though, so let's go see what we've got. I think we're gonna need a lot of tuff and gravel and other things. So what do we got for tuff? Youch. What do we got for gravel? Youch. Okay, well at least we're good on cobble and stone. What about andesite? Okay. Well, I think we're going to the mines. Let's clean up the old inventory here real quick and run down to the mines and see what we can't figure out. Actually, let's see what we've got in these. Okay, so we got a ton of deep slate stuff, a ton of plants. Here we go on some tuff and things. Hold on. I don't think we're gonna have enough to do anything really, but we at least have some, which I was not expecting. What about in here? Some more andesite. I think we should probably still go into the mine and just get some more just in case. Yeah, let's do that. Let's put all these in there. We'll get that much andesite. We'll get that much tuff. We're probably gonna need even more than that. And then we'll fill in kind of the middle space with whatever else. You, on the other hand, my friend, can go into here. And then this one for now we'll put in here because this is all deep slate stuff. And this is kind of a mix, I think, of decorative stuff, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll just hold on to this one as well. We'll take this, and then you can go into the stone. Okay. Let's go finish clearing out our inventory here. But then I think we're ready to jump to the mines real quick, get some blocks, and then it's time to get going, I think. Well, we do have quite a bit of tuff here, and then I did fill in all of this as well. I did also grab just a little bit of granite because I never use granite, so I kind of want to, I don't know, I want to try and see how we can blend that into the bottom of some of these things, but let's get ourselves back up out of here and then maybe just start working on our first rock. How is it still nighttime? I feel like it's just been nighttime this entire episode. All right, okay. So let's get right here. So what I'm thinking is maybe we do, I kind of want to do one like in this space, one here, and maybe one a little bit closer over there. I think I only want to do like 4, but I do want them to be relatively large, kind of like the rock that the lighthouse is stationed on. So maybe we just start with the one nearest to the lighthouse, see how we like the positioning of that, and then base the positioning of the others off of that. I like that plan, but let's go grab some more shulkers so we can get our things stored appropriately. It's also times like this that I wish we had ourselves a conduit, because oh my goodness, I feel like we're gonna be struggling down there. I think we do have, yeah, we've got respiration, so it'll at least be, it should be fine, but it will definitely be a little tense at times. So maybe we can use a line of stone just to decide where we want the first rock. I really am thinking like right here would be kind of an ideal spot. So I think I'm just going to put this line up here. Hello, squid. Can you get out of the way? Thank you. And then maybe we can set some heights too while we're picturing all of this out. So if we do one, I do want it to be kind of big. So we'll do that one there. Let's fly back over to our ruin and see. Yeah. Honestly, maybe a little shorter, but I like where that one's at. It does make me want to put the other one right here, basically, though. So let's maybe drop a line right here. Maybe not that close to that hole, because then I'm going to want to fill in the hole. Standing there, that feels like that one's maybe too central, but yeah, I think it needs to be in this gap and have the front be just a little bit more exposed here. So maybe we do it here on this platform, as long as that's not too close. I don't know, maybe right here, let's see. I feel like I did nothing but move that slightly more forward. Yeah, we got to go over there. Let's try right here. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I think I'm okay with that one. And then I think the next one needs to be in this zone. And honestly, we might just do two kind of side to side over here. So maybe one like here-ish. Yeah, and then we'll do another one over here, a little closer to the edge of the cliff. Basically right by this dolphin. Hello, dolphin. Okay, let's take a look at these and just see how we're feeling. So, got one rock there, one there, one there, and one there. And that leaves this nice opening here. I feel good about this. I am certain about that one and about that far one. These two I'm a little less certain about, but I think we might know as soon as we've got those two rocks in place. So maybe we build those two far ones first and then get to these front ones. But before we do that, let's go grab more rockets just in case we run out, because the last thing I want to do is be stranded over here with no rockets. So because this is sitting on a pool of gravel, I think we should probably start this rock with gravel, and then I'm thinking we start with gravel and then transition into andesite, or maybe into tuff, and then we'll transition into stone. Do I have any cobblestone in this? I don't think I use any cobblestone on this. So I don't think we're gonna use any cobblestone in this build. So we'll leave that. I think we're gonna need a lot of stone. Luckily we have way more up top, but let's maybe start with this and then we'll get around to whatever the rest of this looks like. So without further ado, let's jump in. So as I kind of have mentioned before, when it comes to actually like building rocks and other organic looking things, I always try and just lay out a rough idea of what the shape is going to look like. Because the thing is, as you're placing these, it all is going to change as you go up, because, you know, at least for me, I always kind of build these very sporadically so they look as random and as close to natural as they can. So as you can see, like we kind of got this very rough shape here. And then what we're going to do now is instead of trying to, you know, just build like layer by layer of like stone or whatever, we're going to kind of do what we did here. And you see how it's like random heights and things of blocks going up. We're going to do that, but we're going to try and texture it a little bit more than we did over there. Because as great as that rock is, and as much as I like that rock, I don't think we did a very good job of actually laying in texture to show transitions between spaces and things. So what I'm learning is we're definitely going to need more gravel for some of these other rocks, but I really like the texturing of that so far. So I think from here, we can go ahead and I kind of want to go one step in now and start building up with some andesite just to see how that, oh yeah, I like that transition. That looks really nice. Okay, so we'll go in with some andesite now and do a little transition between the gravel into the andesite. Some of it will be a layer behind, some of it will be right on top, just kind of interspersed here to figure out what we want. And again, the andesite is all going to at least come up to this height. So everywhere that we're building the andesite for now, we're just going to build to this size and then we'll fill in the rest. Okay, with that layer of andesite done, well, I say that, hold on, we don't have a layer of andesite right here. Sweet, with the layer of andesite done, now we can go through and kind of do some texturing to the andesite layer so that it's got some variety and height as well. But I do think, even without shaders, those textures blend so well together. So we're going to keep working on that and see where the next part takes us. And that is our andesite place. And as I said, you know, we kind of want to do some of this variation in where it is and popping out so we don't have too many flat spaces. So like right here, I think we do need to do even yet another layer, maybe like this, that kind of fills in and bumps out just a tad so that we just have a little bit more variation in the shape of this building, rock, whatever we want to call this. I kind of like that side, even though it is pretty flat. This side, I did want to come back through and just do a little bit like that to fill that space in. But I mean, I think that looks pretty good, all things considered. So now we can transition to a different block. And I'm thinking maybe we can switch to stone or tough now. Yeah, I think, let's do a couple layers of tough and just see. How does that transition look? It's a little rough, but I'm kind of wondering if we use the tough as kind of a like a shadow. Yeah, let's at least, okay. I'm going to get rid of this tough for now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place all of the stone that we want. And then we can go ahead and fill it in with some of the tough. I'm thinking maybe we just match up all of the tops of these and then we'll do some variation. Except for here. I want these different. I like this shape here. Okay, with that layer done, like I said, now we'll do some shading here. So we're going to go and just here on these lower bits that are underneath everything. We do some of this. How does that look? That doesn't look bad. I think we just need one more up here, though. Yeah, okay. So now, yeah, let's go around. We'll just do a little bit of shading in between these two sections just to add just a little bit more. And then I think we're good to take this above ground. Now, it's not a ton that we did there, but I think it adds just enough to break up some of that there before we take this above the water. And I think once we get above the water, this is when we can start to incorporate some cobblestone, some mossy cobble, and some other things like that. So I think without further ado, we take this above. And I think I kind of want to, I kind of want to take it in another layer now. So instead of having it be there on that layer it's been on, I think we'll take it in one layer and do some variety in the depths and things here. Just to, again, break up the texturing of all of this. That's going to be like that. Okay. Now I guess we can start to incorporate some of the other bits. So once again, I kind of want to use, the tuff as kind of a shading block to show maybe areas that are wet, or something. So we're going to do maybe like this, and then just a little bit up and out of the water, just to show, I don't know, some extra texture to some wetter parts of the rock. And I'm thinking maybe we'll do the same right here. Like that. And then, yeah, I like that. Okay, so now we go through and I'm just gonna start filling in random space until I've got kind of a sporadic design that I like. And I don't know if we need to be that tall. I kind of want it to be that tall. So I think this might be a rather like tall, jagged rock instead of kind of a wider, like, you know, that one kind of like just widened and flattened out. I think we're going to kind of mimic the style, but instead of it just flattening out, it's going to go to a point. So maybe the best thing to do is try and map out what that point is going to look like. And then we can take it down from there. We'll do something like that. And then, yeah, we'll just bring this all the way down. We'll go up here, bring that. Oh, I don't want a block all the way up top. There we go. Bring this all the way down. And then from here, we'll definitely have to add in this. So it is going to hide some of that shading that we did, but I think that's going to help. I think that's going to help a lot just with setting the actual shapes. We'll do like this and then add in something like that. There we go. And then another filler here, which obviously is going to come out and fill in these spots. I kind of want to leave that little pool that's there, so I am going to leave it. We'll do that. And then yeah, I just think this is a fun little like, oh, look, you can get in there. Okay, let's go take a look at this from a distance. Obviously, there's still texturing to do, but I want to check on the shape of it and just make sure it's what I'm thinking. I do like it. I think it's a little too almost thin. Maybe. I can't tell if it's too thin or not. There's definitely room to take it up over on this side. So maybe we just give it some more thickness over here. I mean, look at all this space. There's so much space to bring it up over here that maybe that's what we do is we'll just try and give it some more depth over here. So I guess we are going to fill these pools in. Because I think trying to fill this in from here is going to help make it feel a lot larger. I think that might have helped a lot. Let's see. That's definitely more what I was thinking. I wanted more depth to it, and I felt like that was very thin. That feels really good, though. So let's go ahead. And we'll use some of these blocks we've already used, but let's also grab some cobble and some mossy cobble to try and do some additional detailing here. I don't think we have any of our cobble. Well, we've got some cobble. We don't have any of our mossy cobble here, though. So 1 second. Let me go grab that. Okay, with a little bit under 2 stacks of mossy cobble, I feel good about that. We're going to grab just a little bit more cobble from our actual base. But I'm feeling good. Also, I love how this is starting to look. I'm so excited to keep working on that village. But I'm glad to be back over here working at the cliff again, because I feel like we've just been neglecting over here for so long. Okay, I do like that rock. I feel like that rock fits in. Time to add more rocks. So here along the shoreline, right here, I want to do a bunch of mossy cobble. I feel like that fits in way better. So we'll do that, and then a block there, and then some crawling up the wall like this. That looks great. And then I want to make sure that it also extends down, because I feel like it's not realistic if there isn't any moss, at least underground as well. Sweet. And then we'll do, let's see, where's the gravel? I think the gravel is probably the next one I want to add in here. I kind of want to add some like right in this area, kind of just tucked in with some of this. Once again, just to break up the textures a little bit. I guess we're putting in some andesite there too. There we go. I like that. Okay. And then here where we've already got some shading going into this, I kind of want to do some cobblestone coming off of this tuff. I feel like those textures are close enough that we can do at least some mixing in of just some cobble. Like that. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. And then once again, we'll do a little bit of mossy stone over here. Once again, kind of just feeding its way up through this. Okay, how does that look? I like it. I think it needs more gravel. Do we have more gravel, or are we now out of gravel? We might be out of gravel. Okay, we are out of gravel, but I think we can find a place to put these 3 gravel that does at least something for this. And I really feel like that place is like right here. What if we did, since it's already coming up right here, what if we did like boom, 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 and then andesite, and then maybe some more andesite right here? Okay, yeah, I like that. Actually think the andesite did more. So we might do a line of andesite right here. And then I'm going to stop messing with this rock because I think we've actually built a really good rock. So let's take this andesite down like this and just kind of do this little zigzag-y pattern. Just as a highlight there. Nice. Okay. I think we're good on this side, but let's just take a look. No, we definitely need something right there. Let's do just a little bit right here. Because that'll connect up with what's on the other side. Like that. How do we feel about that? I think it needs to come down 2 more blocks right here. If we're going to do that, may as well also do that one. Okay. What do we feel about that? I like it. I think this needs to feel less like a staircase, so we're going to take this down 2 blocks. And then we'll fill that in with andesite. Sweet. I love it. Okay, last thing that we need is some moss carpet, which we'll need to run back over and grab, and a couple frog lights so that we can light up these rocks so that they are not big mob spawners when we're just out and around the base. And luckily for us, we've got this nice new lighting shop that we can go to where all of our lights are safe and sound. Wow. Who would have thunk? Let's go ahead and grab... I guess it really doesn't matter which ones we grab. I like the pearlescent ones. It appears we're being hunted down. Let's go sleep really quick. The sun is up and we are ready to get back to this. So let's fly back on out here, grab some more moss to make some mossy carpet. I actually think there might be some carpet there already. But let's just go see. I mean, there's a little bit. That should be fine. I'm not too worried about it. If we need more, we can make more. But I think that should be enough. Oh, also, actually, while we're over here, I wanted to show you all. So one of the changes in the game with 1.21.5 is that if you leave an ender pearl somewhere, ender pearls now load chunks and keep them loaded. So I have officially left an ender pearl right here that just sits and loads these chunks so that all of the farms can be running at all times of the day. So now we actually have this bone meal farm running when we're not away, which is fantastic. And then over here with the sugarcane, we actually have this running, which is fantastic. I used a bunch of this. It was almost full. I used a bunch of this to make some more rockets, but it's so nice to see this actually working. So fun fact, if you leave this, you can then go ahead and leave this farm on and it won't turn into cobblestone, which is fantastic. We'll just drop this right here on top with a little mossy carpet. And you know what? We might need some more moss because I kind of want to, maybe we do some texturing with the moss. We'll see. But with that, we should be good. I really like how that one looks. And I think right now it feels a little out of place because there aren't any others. However, with that in place, I actually do think this is maybe the right spot, or maybe even just a little bit further this way. I don't know. I kind of like where that spot is. So I'm feeling way better about this place right now. While I'm thinking about it though, I am going to go drop a light on the inside of this, because I really would prefer to not have things spawning down here in the dark of this abyss. So let's go ahead and just drop one of these in here too, just so that hopefully nothing is gonna actually spawn in here. There we go. It's as if we were never here. Okay. Well, sweet. We've got rock number 1 done. I'm gonna go ahead, flip on a little time lapse, and I'm gonna take care of the other 4 as we slowly descend into the depths of the ocean. I'll see you all here in a couple minutes. Well, we've got that done, and I have to say, I think those look really nice. It's just a small addition here, but it breaks up, what is our area here at the base and the rest of the world, and I think it just looks, it looks so nice. Also, it kind of incorporates that ruin in with our base as well, since it is so close. I did want to leave kind of a wider space here in the middle because eventually I do want to build a boat right here. I want to build a big boat, I don't know, maybe a couple, and have those here. But the thing is, I needed a way for that boat to reasonably make it into here. And I think there's definitely enough space over there. Especially if we were to, pretend it came through this gap right here. This is definitely the wider gap. But I really think these look really nice. I think they turned out just how I wanted them. I didn't want them to be too big of rocks because I felt like too big of rocks would then go and kind of overshadow some of everything else that's going on. So I wanted them to just be kind of these jagged rocks that were just here, just as kind of a barrier. That was sweet. I did not think I was going to land that. Yeah, I'm happy with these. I'm happy with it. I know they're just silly. I know they're just silly little rocks, but they're my silly little rocks, all right? All right. I love them. But anyway, with those done, I suppose now we have to find something else to do. I don't know why I'm struggling with coming up with things to do today. That's one of those projects I've been pushing off for a long while. So I'm really happy to have it done. But I think there's definitely more I want to build over there. More I want to build over here. More I want to build here. Like, I've got so many things I want to build. I just don't even know where to start. But something that we can do, last episode, I had asked if there was any opinion on naming this town and coming up with a name, because genuinely, I have no preference on what this place is named, and I really couldn't think of anything. And one of the responses that I got was Arbor Ridge, and I really, really liked that, especially because we've got, you know, this area up here. I'm going to have like a walking trail through, so kind of like an arboretum. We already have an arboretum over here. That my sound just disappeared. Can you guys? That was weird. That was strange. Anyway, as I was saying, we already had an arboretum over here, and I just think Arbor Ridge just fits so well. So we're getting an audio glitch right now. When we're flying, we don't get the sound. That's interesting. So we are going to change this to the Arbor Ridge Tavern, and we're going to put that on both sides. So thanks again, Marky, for that recommendation. That is fantastic. Thank you so much. And now look at that. Not only do we have a name for the tavern, but we have a name for the town. And that is really exciting. Now, something I did decide is I do want to keep these, but I don't want them right here. I don't think this is where they fit. So what I think we should go ahead and do is once again, tear these down, get some more stone bricks and other things, and pull this all the way out. And then I'm thinking I want to do these market stalls right here, kind of to tie off the edge of this cliff. And then that way we've just kind of got this whole area marked off for how big this really market rectangle. It's not really much of a square anymore, but anyway, how this is really going to look. So let's go and grab our materials again, come back and get this all resituated. And you'll see, look, I actually organized my inventory. Things are empty. So look, we're going to go back, we're going to grab what we need, and then we'll come and actually get this all set. Yeah, I'm happy with those rocks. Oh, they're so, okay. I'm happy. All right, we need this box that's already in here probably has a lot of what we want, actually. So let's grab that. I think that's probably going to be okay for right now. Let's see, we got enough detail blocks in here. Yeah, let's go with it for now, see how far it gets us, and then if we decide we need more or less of anything, we can figure it out from there. But I grabbed some extra moss so that we can make some extra mossy stone if we need it, because that's the only part that was looking a little lackluster. But I think that should work out just fine. Also, let's sleep, because I think tonight is a phantom night. So let's find wherever I put the bed. I think it is down here in this little stable. Yep. All right, now that it's daytime, let's go ahead and tear these down one last time. Well, hopefully for the last time, so that we get all this space back for us to use. Perfect. And with these torn down, we can now dig out the rest of this area and then start getting it filled in. Now, I think I will have it extend out this way just to completely fill off this corner, and then we'll continue this wall around as well. But for now, we'll at least fill this space in and kind of see where doing all this takes us. Now let's grab some stone just to get it all set, and then we'll go back in as we normally do and texture once we've got everything in place. I do think we're going to need to grab some of our andesite, because I forgot that we've got these andesite walls and kind of interspersed andesite blocks that we're probably going to want to try and mix in as well. Do we have any over here still? I don't think we do. Well, let's start with doing some cracked stone and some mossy stone, and then I think from there we'll go and grab some of our andesite blocks to mix in. Okay, that feels like enough detail with those. So now, yeah, let's go grab some more andesite to break up this just even a little bit more. And then I think we'll be in a good place. Now that feels nicely detailed. Okay, well, now that we've got that, I think it makes sense to maybe just go ahead and go take care of this last bit too. There's no reason to leave this. If the plan is to build a wall around it and such, there's no reason to leave it. I think I might have there be a pathway through here. So maybe we only have it come up to here on the staircase, or maybe right here. So for now, we'll leave those blocks as path. And I will say, I am not going to have these be path blocks forever. They are just path blocks, so I have an idea of where I want to have roads in time. But for now, we're just going to use these path block textures and then change that as this town continues to grow. So if we just did, again, just mapping this out first before we actually make any big decisions. If we just do something like this. Yeah, this'll look really nice, I think. Do that, and then of course we'll go through and we'll texture all of this as well. But at least we've got this established. Nice. Okay. And that gives us a good place to have our wall come around without being just kind of this weird shape. So I think that's gonna work great. Perfect. And then here is where we'll put in those cracked blocks. Let's go back and grab our detail blocks again. You can probably leave for now. We'll let it go for now, and then we'll come back with more if we need to. There's some cracked blocks. We'll let this andesite section go out just a little bit more. Once again, we'll have kind of a mossy area over here, just where the breeze has blown in water and caused some moss to grow, and we'll have that go up against this wall too. And same thing over here, probably just a little moss patch. And let's go ahead and use our last moss block right there. As for cracked stone, I always like to have some of that climbing up a wall, so we'll do that, and then again, we'll have a crack going down the edge. And then, because there is a crack that started there, we'll have it stretch just a little bit further this way to break up all that. Perfect. Okay, so now let's turn our attention to this edge, where we're going to need to blend in the wall, in with what's already here. So we know that there's moss here, so let's just go ahead and pull this moss down like that. And I think we did use the rest of our mossy cobble, so we'll just grab 32 more right here. And now we can kind of fill this space all the way in with moss. I think that looks pretty good. We'll do maybe just have a little bit more here and really make it look like that's mossed up. Yep. And then I always like to add cracks at the bottom just from holding all the weight all this time. We are going to have to go make a little bit more crack stone, but that is okay. Once again, little moss addition here. And then can we incorporate any andesite like right here maybe? Just a little stack of it like that. That looks good. And then maybe just a little bit here. Again, not really as a building block, just more as kind of a texture here. We'll do that. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Now let's get those walls added. Wow, had exactly enough for what I wanted there. Okay. So we'll start. I might actually make this one a mossy one too. So we'll start with having that be a moss covered corner. And then I think I'll also drop another light there, and then we'll do. You're actually not going to be there. You're going to be right here. On that corner. There we go. And then we'll have that go up. And then another one on top of that. And then a couple more on top to finish that out. But we need to make some more. So let's do that really quick. And like I said, I think I'm just going to leave this open because the path will all connect here and it'll be just fine. So with those set, now let's get our little market stalls put back in, and maybe we can actually set them up just a little bit nicer this time so they feel a little more in place. Nice, our market stalls are back in, and they definitely fit in a lot better over there, so that's perfect. Let's go grab our lanterns and finish putting lanterns on those posts, and then I believe the mission of today is done. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, let's just make sure we didn't miss anything over here. I don't think we did. Nope, that looks good. That looks good. Okay. Well, I feel like today was a day full of texturing and things, but hey, that is great. I feel like there's only one way to learn it, and it's by doing it. So that is awesome. I do definitely need to find a way to get some more light here in the center, whether that's by putting maybe another tree right here or something, but that's something we'll figure out in the future. For now, that is all the time I have. Thank you so much for watching as always. I always appreciate it. If you're new or find yourself coming back, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you around. Thanks again for watching. Take care. I'll see you soon.